the Table. I'm Rachel. I'm here with Shona, and we've got a great show coming up.
Why? What have we got coming up?
Always good, Shona. Why do you question this?
Okay, this one is for my helicopter mum best friend. Babyproofing. I don't even have to ask whether you did it, because I know you did.
Totally did it.
And I bet 100 that it was over the top.
It was definitely over the top, absolutely. So, yeah, we baby-proofed the house completely. And look, I did feel sorry for my eldest daughter because we lived in this old fisherman's shack and the floorboards were like cement, and so she'd sort of scrape her knees when she learnt to crawl. So we did put, soft stuff down. But I went over the top and I put those plastic electrical things, like in the electrical sockets, not only in my own home, when I'd go to other people's homes, I'd take it and put it in theirs.
Oh,
how bad's
you'd
that?
be a nightmare of a friend.
It's hilarious. But then by the time my third daughter was here, I'm like, oh, sweetie, take the knife out of that electrical socket. Like, you start to relax a lot more.
Relax? I think you'd gone overboard by then.
But that's part of finding your own journey and your own boundaries. Like, you've got to work out where you stand, and you have to own who you are. Like, I was a little bit of a panicky mum, but it's a very different story now.
Is it? Yeah. I still think you're a little bit panicky on the edge.
Compared to her, who isn't. So what did you do, Shona?
Look, I pretty much didn't do anything. As you can tell.
I think kids are fine.
Yeah, my kids are fine. I think we probably put a lock on the, one of those baby catch things on the knife drawer because, we've got very sharp knives being cooking. And we probably put something on this. We did put something on the stairs to stop the kids and the dog going up and down the stairs and falling and tripping and hurting themselves. But other than that, you learnt by your mistakes.
Yeah. You do.
You do.
You do learn by mistake, so do they. But yeah, there is a place for going over the top. And I think, as I said before, it's just part of learning where your boundaries are and going, do you know what? This is what I'm comfortable, this is my mothering zone that I'm comfortable in. And I think, at the time, if you'd mocked me then, I probably would have got quite upset.
Yes.
Whereas now it's fine.
Yeah.
But
we say it in jest, guys, but, there is a serious side to this.
I was going to say, if anything had happened, people would have looked straight to me and what I did. And so I think there's a place for just accepting people to parent the way they do, encourage them, laugh behind their backs if you must. But you've got to parent where you're comfortable, and I think that's part of the whole baby-proofing and learning that journey.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Oh, she agrees with me.
Makes a change.
There's so many changes that happen to our body when you become pregnant. Even your husband's body changes as well. But that's what I want to talk to you about. What are some of the things that they don't tell us when we become pregnant?
That's a really good question, Fiona, because a lot of the things that we hear about pregnancy, you might feel nauseous, you're going to feel this elation, sense of joy, cravings, all that sort of stuff. They don't tell you about the stuff like you might lose your hair or that your skin might change colour, or that every single person you walk past in the street is going to have an opinion on how big your baby bump is, how small your baby bump is.
Or even what you're having.
Or they'll pass judgment on your hot chocolate versus your coffee, or those sorts of things. So, look, those are the things that are really important to be very mindful of. It's if you do get the chance to work with your GP before you become pregnant to make sure that you are in the best health that you can be prior to becoming pregnant, that's really beneficial. Doesn't always work.
No, because sometimes you don't plan.
That's it. And so you work with someone to make sure that you do have the best physical health basis that you can. Make sure that you're not iron deficient.
So what are some practical tips that we could use when we're becoming pregnant and eating healthy?
So lots of fresh fruit and vegetables is really important. You want to be making sure you're getting loads of nutrients for a growing baby, as well as making sure that you're fueling your own body. When you have a baby, it's the most upheaved time in your life, and that's when you fall back onto the habits that you've had beforehand. So being in the habit of regularly exercising, being in the habit of looking after yourself, drinking loads of water. Those are the things that you're going to fall back on when you are sleep deprived and don't know whether it's Monday or Friday, and it doesn't really matter.
And your hair starts falling out. What are some things so we shouldn't be scared? Do we need to go see a doctor if our hair starts falling out or our skin starts changing?
Most definitely. Yeah. Sometimes there are some really simple things that we can do to help that can make such a difference.
Our body does kind of speak to us and tell us that something's up. So do go and see a professional
And listen to your body and
Listen to your body.
get things tested.
What about even, I remember like feeling my back was killing during all my pregnancies.
Yes, yes.
So ligaments.
They all
become
loosen up.
soft.
It has to happen. But if it's lasting for a long period of time or if it's causing you pain, then you need to be checking that out.
Yeah, look, I think there's some great tips there. Thanks, Doc. Get yourself checked out if you're not feeling all the way normal, and take care of yourself and be nice to yourself.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, we're here with Amanda, our nutritionist and dietitian. Welcome.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
Thank you for coming. I get excited about these little topics that we've been discussing. This topic today is plant-based sources of iron. I find that there's a lot of vegan things going out now. It's so trendy, and the whole food plant-based diet. But I find that people don't know, especially me when I first started eating plant-based, how to get iron, because it's such a big thing, you know?
Yeah. So firstly, I just want to explain there's two different types of iron. So there's the heme iron, which comes from animal foods and is well absorbed by our bodies. Then there's non-heme iron, which is what we're focusing on today, and that comes from plant foods. And it's not quite as well absorbed by our bodies, but there are some things we can do to improve its absorption.
Okay. So what are some of these things that we should be eating that do have iron naturally in them?
Yes. So here we've got a spread of...
I love this.
of some of the plant-based foods that are highest in iron. So you've got your whole grain breads and cereals. So we've got some oats and brown rice and some quinoa, and also your fortified breakfast cereals as well.
Iron?
Yeah, so just check the label and make sure that there's iron added to them.
Okay, perfect.
Also, you've got some of your green leafy veggies, so spinach, bok choy.
So lots of green veggies.
Yeah, and broccoli's a great one too, as well as your nuts and seeds, so cashews, pumpkin seeds. And
I can see you've got some dried fruit here.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love that. I never knew that dried fruit had iron, such high iron.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? So,
and I love it. And my kids love it because I put it in their lunch boxes, a few apricots, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what sort of guidelines is there in order to be able to absorb this sort of food? Like, because I know you just said before that it's a bit harder to absorb.
So the plant-based sources are a little bit harder to absorb. The best way to improve absorption is to have an iron-rich food with a vitamin C source. Okay. So, and your best sources of vitamin C are fruits and vegetables. And these are some of the best. So berries, citrus fruits, kiwi fruits.
All the yummy stuff.
Yeah, as well as guavas and pineapples and pawpaws, and then broccolis, capsicum and tomato
So having just a nice, a fresh vitamin C source with your meal would
so
help
having
you absorb.
it together.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're taking tablets as a pregnant woman, I remember the doctor would say, make sure you're having a vitamin C with your iron tablet. So I guess it makes sense that with food it works the same way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for these tips. I can't wait to hear the next topic. We'll see you guys next time, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.
Have you ever thought about distracted parenting and what using our phones and technology does to our kids and even us as parents? Have you?
Yes, I think of it all the time because my son will be jumping up and down in front of me like, mommy, 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 you know? So
whilst we're on the phone.
Exactly. And you think, oh, maybe I can just check this one thing really quickly, look down and glance up. But, you know, they're noticing us.
Yes.
And I didn't think about this so much until I saw this story from CBS in America with Diane Sawyer, a journalist. And she was looking at this idea of how we sometimes parent quite distracted. And I know I experience this a lot with my husband. I feel like he's playing video games and I'm just seeing the top of his head. So I can only imagine for a kid.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
What, to seeing or to being?
Seeing the top of my husband's head.
Yeah. I mean, while it's a nice head, it's not what you want to see.
No, and I think it's so often for parents to be using that time, I guess they call it downtime.
Exactly.
You know, go online and just scroll or play a game, whatever it is, but our kids are watching.
Yes, because we often talk about how we can do things, you know, have our kids do things better, but how can we parent undistracted? So it's interesting in this in this article, they actually had the parents for 2 minutes just use their phone and just see the reaction of their young children and how they were engaging with the parent. What they saw was, with 2 children that I saw in this show, the first child, as a parent, for 2 minutes, they couldn't look up or make eye contact, just use the phone and scroll. The first child was like, Mommy, listen, Mommy, we want to do something else. Let's do this other thing. So for 2 minutes, he continued to try to get the mom's attention, and she didn't look up one time. And even though that was a study, like, that does happen in real life as well.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah, I mean, as well. The second scenario, the little girl, she just pulled, it was almost sad, she pulled up a chair and just sat next to the mom and didn't even try to. After she tried a few times and realized it wasn't going to work, she just sat and waited for mommy to finish for the 2 minutes. So
that's sad. That is really sad. You don't even pay attention usually to what your child is doing, but to think that, you know, physically your child is so used to you just going online, being so engaged in your phone.
They just pull up a chair next to you.
And don't bother mummy until she's finished.
Exactly. So I guess the bigger thing is, what can we do? Because we're so busy. We all have so many things to do. And it's almost impossible to say you need to just sit there and do absolutely nothing. The first one would be just to have a family meeting and decide what are the expectations that we as a family want to have.
Yes.
When do we want to use tech? When don't we want to use tech?
Even as couples. You can do this as couples. You don't even have to have children to have that discussion.
Yes. Thank you for this counseling session.
Anytime, girl. Anytime.
But I think having these expectations, what are our phone-free or technology-free times going to be?
Yes.
And then deciding to make memories, saying, let's do something as an adventure for us as a family. And then deciding alternatives to tech, saying that we're going to maybe listen to music. That's still a form of technology that we can still have that face-to-face interaction with.
Us mums need that motivation sometimes, the music to keep us going while the kids are, you know, busy doing what they're doing. So I think it's important to have that audible still.
And maybe having a babysitter swap, because we often are on our phones because we have something to do. So maybe your friend can watch your kid, and we can prioritize that time that we're going to just focus on our children so they can see our eyeballs and feel like very special to us.
Yeah, that's the thing. We want our kids to feel like they're present, and they are present.
Yes.
So it's so important to be mindful, I guess, be mindful of the way you're using it, and even just being distracted. Just take a second thought to be present. To be present. Present in the moment. Thanks, Rach.
Okay, bit of a confession time. On our Facebook group for our mums, someone brought up the topic of talking about the I don'ts list. Now, do you... She's looking frightened. What are some of the things as a mum that you didn't or don't do? So, you know, for example, I don't enjoy getting on the floor and playing with my kids and doing cups and teas and mums and dads.
No.
You know, there are mums out there who do. No judgment, but this is an opportunity to just confess those things and not feel bad about them.
Oh, you're not going to judge?
No.
Okay. As you can imagine, I don't do the exercise thing. We've had this out before. So whenever the kids wanted to ride their bikes or go on their scooters or do whatever, it was like, wait till your father comes home.
Did you ever feel guilty over it, though? Oh, I love it. See, I'm the fool in life who takes on that guilt.
Yeah, no.
You know, I would feel guilty when people told me all the wonderful little things they did with their kids that I knew I didn't enjoy or want to do. And so I think it's nice to be able to say these things and feel like you're doing it in a safe space, like on our Facebook group, and not feel that guilt and not feel that judgment. Because I think as mums, we always take on the, even subconsciously, take on the pressure of what other mums do and what we should be doing.
And especially when it comes to social media, when you see everybody else out there doing the wonders of motherhood.
You
and
see there's
you're
great
not.
pictures on Facebook going, I'm not doing that with my kids. So it's actually an interesting exercise to admit that around other mums, what you don't do. What are some others?
Well, I didn't like doing lunch boxes, school lunches.
I think there's a universal I don't on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No one likes lunches.
And you?
What I don't... Oh, goodness me, there's probably so many. Let me think of some.
I know one of your pet peeves, the ones you really don't like, babies. You really didn't like babies, did you?
Pet peeve's going to probably be a bit strong. I don't enjoy the newborn phase. And so when my youngest sort of got out of that, it was almost a sense of relief. And that's when I sort of started to enjoy motherhood so much more. And it is really hard to say that because there are mums out there who absolutely crave motherhood, newborns, everything. And I do carry the guilt of not necessarily enjoying that.
Yeah, and look, I feel the same way. I think because some of, my births weren't great and you've got to work through all of that at the same time. But I don't think we should shame ourselves if we have those feelings because there are normally reasons behind why we don't enjoy a certain period in a child's life.
And I think it's okay to admit that. You don't necessarily have to flaunt it in front of your kids and
No.
make them feel bad.
No.
But I don't feel like we should be feeling guilty over everything, because I don't think I know anyone who enjoys every portion of it. It's
No.
a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that we've got to take forward is, not judging other mums. Enjoy what you enjoy and then appreciate what they do as well. That is all that we have got time for today. We would love it if you would join our Facebook group. If you're a mum out there and you're looking for some support, please join. There's a whole group of supportive mums out there. Don't forget, we are on YouTube as well, so you can subscribe there, and our magazine, which is absolutely fantastic. Hop onto our website, mumsathetable.com. We'll see you next time.